Reptiles Unplugged.
I'm John Feely of Feely's Clutch, and you are watching Reptiles Unplugged.
This is Will Rose from Royal Canadian Reptiles, and you're watching Reptiles Unplugged.
Guys, it's KB Reptiles.
Team Helga.
Team Beard.
And you're watching
Reptiles Unplugged.
It's Justin from Jacob Luck Reptiles, and you're watching Reptiles Unplugged.
Nick with Renowned Reptiles here, and you're watching Reptiles Unplugged.
It's your boy Harry Wayne from Royal Canvas Exotics, and you're tuning into Reptiles Unplugged.
You're Triple B, and you're watching Reptiles Unplugged.
Woo! Okay, so yeah, we're getting going here. Obviously, we were running a little late. We were pretty caught up on the impeachment news, obviously, because we look like those kind of people. But yeah, so Joel here, State Verde Exotics, and tonight I'm pretty excited about our show. And right now, I think I'm going to segue this to Adam, and then he can take it from there for us.
What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining us tonight. It's going to be a great show. Super excited. And yeah, sorry we're late. You know, political things taking place here in the country. Who knows? Crazy stuff. And tonight's special guest, I am so excited to turn it over to Mr. 514. Go ahead, man. Introduce yourself.
Hey, guys. How's it going? I'll introduce myself, Khalil from 514 Reptiles, from Montreal, Canada.
Yeah, international. We're international again.
Yeah.
We got the good Canadian this time instead.
Yeah.
Of
Last time you had, what was his name? Willis.
Willis.
Yeah, Willis. That's what you had.
There was a K and B on here, but I think I don't know. So we'll do a top three. Let's say we'll place you guys out.
Thanks. Yeah.
Willis.
So
What you talk about, Willis?
Yeah. Right.
Willis.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for coming on. I know you're a longtime supporter of the live chat, so it's always good to have you on here. And
sure.
I don't know really how we convinced you to get on here, but we're glad to have you for sure. I know.
Thank you.
I know you got some fire locked away there in those racks, so excited to dive in a little deeper. But I guess before we get going too much here, maybe we can get a little background on how you got started into reptiles and do like that boring intro type stuff that we like to talk about.
Yeah, for sure. So it all started. First of all, I never liked snakes.
Right.
I like birds. I like mammals. I like dogs, cats. Well, actually, no. So on the cats, but
Right.
birds, fish, and dogs. And then my brother was always the type that went and got snakes and scorpions and spiders and all that kind of stuff. And then one day he just goes and buys 2 ball pythons. I remember it was a desert pinstripe male and a spider female.
Right.
He said, "Hey, let's breed these and sell the snakes to the pet shop." I was like, okay. So we did some like typical starter breeder, put them in a tank, try to figure it out. And then I went online and started researching it. Came across Brian Barczyk videos on he had Snake Bites TV, and how to breed, what he does, and all that kind of stuff. And I started seeing all the different morphs, all the genetics, everything that came with it. And I love art. Obviously, I do art. This is one of my pieces.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, no way, dude.
Yeah. I don't know if you can see it well with the light reflecting, but yeah, so I was like, this is crazy. You can do this, and like, always snakes to me were brown and black,
Right.
all these color mutations and everything.
Right.
So I started doing it like that. We got a bunch of stuff. First year, we weren't on Facebook and all the groups. We're like on Kijiji buying local stuff. Bought like 15 males and like 2 females.
Right.
So
Right.
And then eventually just started, replacing and learning and being in the groups and, created the page 514 Reptiles. When we started, I didn't think anything of it, right? We just,
Right.
I'm local. The phone number, the area code is 514 Reptiles. Good to go. Let's do it,
Right. Let it fly. Yeah.
And that's it. It led all the way to here, and slowly over time, we've developed it a lot. Had some help. I've had some mentors help me in the hobby as well.
Right.
Yeah.
That's super important, man. Yeah,
Dennis was saying Brian Barczyk is our gateway drug into all of this for a lot of us.
Yeah. I know Brian gets a lot of heat for many different reasons, but I think no matter what you do, there's always going to be a group of people that hate what you do or hate how you're doing it. But I think he's done so much for the hobby, and so many people. I talk to people, and they're like, "Yeah, you know that guy on like he has a channel on YouTube." Whatever. Like, yeah, you know what I mean. And people love it. He shows that side of things, and Miguel does that too as well right now. He's introducing all these new faces, all these new people to the industry, and it's cool, man. It's great. It's great to see it, and I have just love for Brian Barczyk or any of these guys that are putting themselves out there and just showing a lot of good things about this hobby.
Yeah. I think that's an important thing that a lot of people forget. We as these hobbyist breeders can't continue to just sell to each other. So it is nice that new people come in.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, exactly. We need that market refresh, and Brian, he's instrumental in that. Same story here. He was the one that really got me hooked on all this. So shout out to him. So that was that was a couple of years ago you guys started kind of messing around?
This was probably beginning of 2014.
Okay.
Now, at one point, I did sell all that beginner package that I got. And then I had like one snake kind of just sitting on it, debating what I want to do. And then my brother for my birthday went out and bought me, this was 2014, he bought me a black pastel banana male.
Okay.
And I just re-triggered everything, and I got more serious into it, got the good drag, started, getting the stuff that I really want, that I really like, and really understanding more and more of what I want to do.
Right. Yeah, diving deeper down the wormhole, trying to catch the dragon, if you will.
Yeah. What do you think was the best piece of advice that you got from one of your mentors while you were starting out?
One of the best pieces from so one of the people I consider a mentor to me is I make fun of the name Willis, is Will Morose from Royal Canadian Reptiles.
Yeah.
Right.
Will, we met a couple of years back through a friend that's no longer in the hobby, and I met him at the CRB, which is a Canadian show, in September. And we had supper. We went out to eat, a couple of drinks, and then we were standing in front of the hotel, and we started to get to know each other, and he started giving me advice. I think one of the best things was to have fun with the stuff now, but have like a 6-year plan. You know what I mean? Like, really, what are you trying to make in 6 years? Right. Not what you make next season. Because I used to always be like, okay, let me get this and this, so I'm going to make this. You know what I mean? It was very like, next year what I'm going to make. And I think he brought a lot of interest to the way I do things by telling me, no, breed this because you want to put it with this animal in 6 years or in 5 years or in 4 years. And I think that's probably the best advice, because a lot of people go in it with no actual plan. Not only snakes, anything, a business, a hobby, an interest. They go in with no actual plan, with no end goal, or they think that the real end goal that they want is not achievable, so they always leave it off the table.
Right.
And I think he told me to have a plan, to really know what you want to do in the future. And things could change, but at least you work towards something. That's probably one of my best advice that I got from Will. Yeah,
set a game plan and go for that. It's so easy to do too with the reptiles, because there's so many shiny objects per se that just pop up, right? And it's like, oh, I gotta have that right now, or I'm gonna go buy the ingredients. But like you were saying, having that next step plan will help you. Yeah,
it'll end up saving you money too if you're really disciplined with your plan, because like you said, Adam, like, all of a sudden confusion's popping up all over the place, and then there's a new codom that comes out, and you're like, oh, I gotta have that, and it's like, oh, we gotta really stick in our lane here, and see these projects out, and by doing that, I just feel like at the end of that road, it's going to be 10 times better than jumping ship every year, with a new gene or a new combo or something like that going on for you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can't play catch up. You will never be able to catch up to anything.
No, can't. You can't. Yeah, and that's a cool idea too. Is like to that. Picking your plan, because you can't catch up, dude. There's nobody here is gonna probably catch up to Justin in clowns or pites or so it's like and then you got Ozzy with OD, and like, you can't catch up, but what you can do is you can do you, and nobody can catch up to you then. So, yeah,
exactly.
I like that a lot.
So what was the first major project once you guys once you reevaluated and then got back in with the plan?
So we wanted to work a lot on pieds. So we went out and we bought 10 female pieds, just babies to raise.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, I bought my first blackhead. I got him from Breeder Circle in the U.S.
Okay.
So that was like the initial plan that we started off with, which mostly pieds, and I really wanted to get into blackhead, but I was still kind of like, not sure what I'm doing, but at least I have the pieds growing, and eventually, we'll make combos with that. So that was our major thing, but the past 2-3 years, I think the projects have kind of taken they've gone in many different directions.
Right,
but
right.
Every project, I guess you want to call it project, whatever the genes are, there is a certain plan that we're going towards. There is a final, but it's never going to be a final, but there is a long-term goal that we're trying to create.
Dude, yeah, that's funny you say that, because that started like I was super like strict on like my first 15 snakes or so, and then I started being like, okay, well now let's advance this further and further, and then it looks like there's a lot of branches on that tree, but they're all still headed to that peak pinnacle, so it goes from that 6 years planning to 10-year planning, but yeah, that's
and it's
cool.
I mean, it's rewarding at the end. So now a lot of my plans are coming together, and it's very rewarding to see like, oh shit, okay, now I can buy this male, and then I can make this with these females that I've been raising, and everything kind of starts to work within each other,
right?
Like in order to do something
next level.
Yeah, exactly. And you keep developing it, and you're like, oh, now I get to do this, and it's cool. It's a lot of fun. It brought me a lot more interest than I had before. Instead of just like, oh, okay, I'll take this banana and put this black pastel, and I'll make banana black pastels. It's cool. There's a market for it, and there are people that are still buying those types of snakes. But to me, it was kind of like, okay, I'm done now. What's
next?
This helped me really kind of keep going.
Right.
Yeah.
So do you what do you think your motivator is behind the projects and stuff like that? Are you looking to innovate? Are you looking to make things for yourself? Like where are you kind of at with that like mindset?
I think probably I want to make, okay, so for example, let's take blackhead for an example. There is a lot of different blackhead projects out there. There's a lot of nice stuff out there, but for me, what I'm trying to make is really the best representation of those genes.
Right.
So it could be just a 2-gene animal or a 3-gene animal, but they look nice. They look insane. The quality is really, really nice. And you just look at it, you're like, holy smokes, this looks
right.
So that's kind of where I'm at. Innovative. I mean, I would like to be innovative with what I make.
Right. Absolutely.
But I think that's gonna come with time, where I have enough genes and enough mixes together where I can start be like, okay, this is really on this side of the spectrum, and I have another animal on this side of the spectrum. Put them together, and now I'm making really cool and different animals. That innovation might come in later, but I'm not focused on that. I'm just focusing on making really nice animals now.
Yeah. Okay, I like that. Yeah. What does Gavin always say? Not the world's first, the world's best.
Right.
From Mills to you.
Okay.
Yeah. I love that saying of his. It's kind of that whole quality, not quantity type thing. It's not always about being first, but making the best is where it's at, man. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
Cool. So,
sorry, go ahead.
No, you first.
I had this debate with someone online saying, and I mean, it wasn't like an argument. It's just he's saying all these genes, that's the best animal. That's the best combo of that gene right now. And in my opinion, it's the most genes, but it's not the best combo. Just because there's an extra, 1 or 2 genes that shouldn't be in there. Right. So I don't think more is better. I think, certain things work with other things, but a lot of people will say like, no, that's the best representation of those genes. I don't think so, but
yeah,
right.
I like that, dude. Too much muddies the water, man. You can't see which one's shining through or which one's, you get those 5-gene animals, and I mean, you're getting dangerous towards white or black snakes too at that rate.
Yeah, just like a patternless, basically, mess of everything in there. Yeah, I remember when like Kevin McCurley was first pumping out some of like the 6-gene animals, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, how does he see that? That just looks like nothing, right? Like, but it was, he had seen all the stages up to it. So, that had to be what that does. You know what I mean? So I thought that was kind of funny. Do you more focus like on, like, does your eye typically go to more like pattern influencing genes or like more color, like dark or light?
Ooh, probably more color.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the dark, like the very dark satin type of colors.
Mm-hmm.
I like the very light colors.
Yeah.
So high contrast.
Yeah. So pattern. I mean, I like pattern, but no, I think I'm more into the colors. I think
more into the color.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
I know. That's kind of the line that I run to is I like really contrasting things. So if it has good examples of dark black and then maybe some awesome yellow or orange, like that's the best looking animal to me, right? Of just something high contrasting, and then I like pattern. So I like it all, right? I'm screwed. I just need it all.
Right. That's the problem. It's hard to equate that though. Are you a pattern guy or a color guy, dude? That's tough because really, I mean, the answer is both.
Both,
I want it all, but I do like the contrasting ideas too. Like with blackhead that you're working with, dude. Like blackhead and yellow belly, they go so great together, and that's just a 2-gene combo, man. But they look great because yellow belly just gives it that like gold, like yellow to that like super dark color that blackhead gives off. I really like that, man. That'll be.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, same here. I'm there's a lot of like one of the things with the making those really nice 2-gene animals is you'll see the black pastel pieds. Some of them have really nice pattern. They have like I don't know how to say it, maybe like a copper type of look to it, really nice. But other ones just have like a black head or a brown head. So what I'm trying to do is take the black pastels that I've made, very high, like the nice patterns on the side and everything, and transfer that into pied.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Kind of get that quality right into pied and not lose the pattern and just get like just a head or stuff like that. I think yellow belly is actually a really good gene to add into that mix.
Oh, dude, yeah, yellow belly and dark genes go so great together. Yellow belly, black pastels, stuff like that, dude. I love that stuff. I think that's so cool. It's simple, but it's really pretty. Yeah. And you're working a lot with blackhead right now, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. I mean, so I wanted to get into blackhead a while back. I paid a decent amount of money when I brought him from the U.S., but it took him. I got him like 5 months after I paid for him, and then he missed that entire season because he was still small, and then he didn't breed the following season. So I ended up paying him like on the 3rd season to breed for me. So I'm kind of behind on that, but I'm happy with where I'm at. I've made him into a bunch of heads. Like head hypo, head clown, head pied. Yeah. I have a visual lavender. I'm working on blackhead head sentinels right now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I have them into a bunch of different stuff. Right. But yeah, blackhead is one of my. I have a lot of clown stuff, but I do have a lot of interest and plans for the blackhead gene.
Yeah, blackhead clowns, dude. Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Is the super on the blackhead isn't just a black snake, right? Doesn't it have?
It has pattern. Yeah, it has pattern.
That's what I thought. Yeah. So you can still get like a really cool super blackhead clown combo out of that.
I think so. Like, I mean, I don't know about with clown because I have seen some of the darker genes with blackhead make almost an all black or very dark gray clown.
Right.
So I don't know how it's gonna mix with it. I know Phil Robinson in Canada made some with those mixes. I think he mixed Phantom, Cinnamon, a few different. I'm not sure about Cinnamon, but I know Phantom he mixed in there.
Yeah.
And they are dark. Some of them almost like a solid black snake with some head, with a bit of head pattern. You know. Right. So I don't know if we'll mix a super blackhead clown, but I'd be interested to see what it would do.
Yeah, that would be kind of crazy.
Yeah, I have Cinnamon and Blackhead together. It's a Cinnamon Blackhead het lav girl. And she's almost purely black, other than just some keyholes on the side that are kind of color. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's one of those genes in the super form. Looks amazing on its own. Like I love like a super blackhead you know. And but putting it into other things, it'll be interesting to see if it overpowers it too much.
I
you know?
agree. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it could, dude. I feel like it can be great. Like that can be a really cool thing. You know. I don't know. I've been really getting into supers lately. I think they're fascinating and not. I don't know. I just don't feel like enough's done with them. You know.
Yeah.
I feel like people stop at like, you know, the blackhead clown instead of like pushing that forward. Like the super. What was that? The Raven? Is that what that is? The Sable? No, the Super Sable clown. That's really pretty.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Is a sable gene like is it a gene of its own? Is it?
It is.
Really
Yeah, it's a dark
or-
gene.
Okay.
I feel like it's kind of similar to chocolate. I could be speaking out of turn. I don't work with it, but it is a darker gene. But the super is dark, but it looks really cool in clown, man. It turned out great. I will say though, we do have a couple questions here. So the chat has ignited with the Sentinel gene, which I have heard now a couple different ways of whether it is recessive or codom. So do you have any insights into kind of maybe your opinion on that? Is this sort of like het red exanthic is actually a visual, but the red exanthic is the red exanthic, obviously. It's just the super form. You know, I guess, what are your thoughts on Sentinel?
Well, Sentinel is recessive.
Okay.
From what I've done with it, I've made heads. They are really, really nice, but there are heads out there. Well, you take a visual Sentinel male and you put them some females. Some of the babies are very, very visual. You can see like a lot of like pattern. There's a lot of blushing at the bottom of the animal on the sides, but there are animals that look normal. They look like their respective genes, and there's nothing else added to it, right? So there's a lot of visual. It's kind of like saying pied is a codon because all these pied markers, but you have some with markers, you have some with don't, and maybe the soup. Like you can't say the super is a white and as a white and brown snake, right? You can't do it you can't say it like that. So originally there was a lot of back and forth about it. I know the paint gene is one of them. There's also I think one or two other names for it.
Right.
But recently there's a breeder called Charles. He's the originator of the Sentinel or the paint. He actually went back and asked for it to be changed to be recessive because they found that it is a recessive gene.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
it's recessive.
I guess my question then is, how many have you done a lot of the pairings on them?
I have 8 pairings this year for them.
Okay.
Last year I didn't have a big year. I only had 11 clutches, so a lot of the females didn't go.
Right.
But I did do Sentinel to a pastel Enchi yellow belly. I have a lot of pictures of the pastel Enchi yellow belly het Sentinel on my page.
Right.
For a Instagram page, and you'll see a big difference between that and just a pastel. It's really, really bright. But I made one pastel Enchi yellow belly that I don't show very much. That looks just like a pastel Enchi yellow belly.
Right. Yeah, so I was curious as if you have done the F2 breeding on the whole clutch, like if you've done the ones that look normal back to a Sentinel and seen if you've hit the 1 and 4 of the visual recessive, let's say.
No, not yet. Okay. I have a breeder group of 1.3.
Okay.
So I have the male to 6 females or 8 females, and I have the three females that I'm hoping I get some stuff from them. So I'll be able to plug the animals back in a lot quicker because I have 3 adult girls.
Right.
But not yet. I'm still in beginning phases with that. But I mean, it's an awesome project. I know that Jake Milbrad made the OD Sentinel. I know that Rec Rooms made a sugar yellow belly, sugar or calico yellow belly Sentinel.
Right.
Or paint in her
right.
situation. And it's wicked. It's cool. There's a lot to be done with it. There's a lot of potential.
Well, the graffiti pied is, I believe, a super paint or a paint pie. Dude, that's a really cool looking pied. That's sweet looking. And so from what I've gathered, is paint and Sentinel are similar, or the same.
Yeah. Freedom Breeder now just has a couple of them for sale, and he's selling them as paint Sentinel. They mixed the two to see if they're compatible, and they are.
Right.
Oh, they are compatible. Okay,
Yeah,
that's what I was
yeah,
wondering.
They're the same thing. It's just like Caligo sugar and enhanced ATP and all that stuff. It's the same two genes.
Same two genes. Right.
Different people got them at different times, and
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, but they're both coming from the same dude, or
no, I know that Charles. There's a couple of guys that started with them. I know that Charles works with them. I think he was in the paint category, and then there is Dynasty that has some in the U.S. in Florida. I think Dynasty Reptiles. Chuck?
Yeah, Dynasty.
And then there's Freedom Breeder has some. There's a few that have them. They came from different places, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's the same thing.
Same
Right.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Confusion
interesting.
acid. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Confusion acid, and there's a third one for it, right?
Hypo orange ghost.
Static.
Static.
Static was the
Static, exactly. That's the third name for it.
Yeah.
Back to your to the het red exantic. So I actually spoke to Corey Woods about the het red exantic, and he said that he named it het red exantic way before people knew about recessives, and I mean that was what he told me about recessives and codoms and how the recessive would be called het something. So just a mix-up of the name that he just called it het red exantic because the super version is the red exantic.
The red exanthic, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then because technically right now everything could be, even if it's codom, you can call it het for.
Dude, I've had this conversation so many times. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really, realistically, het red exanthic is the only name that's right. Lesser isn't. You know, it should be a het blue-eyed Lucy. You know,
right.
But
you can go by it that way, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
But
let's not go about confusing everybody.
Right. Yeah.
Everybody.
Sentinels are the next puzzle.
They're the next puzzle. Huh? Okay. Yeah, dude, I like that. I like that.
There's a lot of potential. A lot of potential.
Yeah. I've been watching out. I think it's one of those cool ones. So I'm happy to know you're working with it a lot. I can't wait to kind of see what comes out. So it's kind of one of those genes for me, though, that I wasn't, I just didn't jump into, right? I was going some other different directions. So it's like, I like watching certain genes just back on the sidelines where I'm like, all right, let's see how that one plays out. I'm interested, but I'm not investing in it right now because I went other ways. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I did that with Orange Dream, and it bit me in the butt. I could have had a grip of Orange Dreams for like less than $500, like several years ago. And then Ozzy hit the super, and everything went to fucking bananas, you know?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I got into him by luck. I was, one of my buddies was getting out, and he was like, hey, take these females, and I was just buying stuff from him. And finally, he had that group left, 1.3, and they were pretty big at the time, like 1,200 grams. And he's like, I have no one's buying them, and can you just like take them off of me?
Right.
Yeah, sure. He gave me a price. I'm like, yeah, it sounds fair.
Yeah. Tough deal. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't like looking for them. I wasn't, you know. He's like, here, take this much. You already bought like this amount of money from me, so just here you go.
Yeah.
And now
that's cool.
Now I'm like, that's my number one, you know.
Yeah, right. Funny how that works out, right?
Yeah.
Hey, so I wanted to ask this a little while ago. So kind of rolling back the clock, when you started to, you know, you sold your initial package and you started getting back into it, you bought pieds and all that good stuff. Did you invest in infrastructure right away? Like, you know, name brand, you know, ARS racks or Freedom Breeder racks, or what was your infrastructure? What did it look like when you?
So up to maybe 30 bins, I had melamine racks that I built.
Okay.
And I used to live in an apartment with a staircase, and every time I'd build one in my partner's warehouse, I would have to bring them up. It's hell to bring these like double melamine, like.
Oh, dude.
The infrastructure, the design behind it was amazing, sturdy, and like, you know, but I'm like, okay, now I got to bring this up.
Yeah.
And then when
2,000 pound racks.
It's crazy. They're heavy, and it's just, you know, and then like, I guess the top of them, you'd see like some bubbling from humidity, I guess. On top
right. Right.
Yeah. So when I moved, I was like, let me just pick up, because ARS ships up to Canada for free at CRBE in September.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, let me pick up a couple of racks. So just about 30 or 40 bins before I switched over to ARS, and I got two: the 1065, which is the baby bin, and then the middle bin, which is the 5040. And then I picked up another one like that, and now I have a couple of other baby racks, which soon I'll be switching over to more professional racking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, the ARS are legit though.
Yeah, ARS makes a good rack for sure. So if you had to do it over again, would you still do it that way, starting out with the melamine and then, you know, kind of working your way into more of the professional racks? Or I guess what's your advice for somebody starting out that, you know, is it worth investing right away or what?
Well, I think it's worth, depending on the money, right?
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, so if I can buy all these nice animals and still afford these racks at the same time, fine. But if it's going to be, you know, racks over snakes, I would buy some snakes first. I would build that first, and then slowly switch everything out to a more professional type of system, right?
Right.
Just there's no point of spending 2,100 US for one of these racks, and you have a bunch of $100 animals in it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you can't have these animals, but you might as well invest into your animals first and then buy the racks. And if you don't want to put melamine, PVC. Hey, Sea Serpents has really, I know Will has some. I saw them at the Timley.
Dude, they're great,
setup.
man.
They're cool, man, and they're lightweight. They have the heat tape in the back. The tubs are really great. They slide in and out really easily. And that's a fraction of the price of an ARS.
Dude, fraction of the price. They hold humidity great. They're clean. They're sterile. They don't warp. You know, they're, dude. I have a 5-stack of PVC racking from Sea Serpent, and then his hot box incubator, and then the hatchling rack too. And dude, I love it. I love that stuff. It's good.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, you know, I kind of reflect back every once in a while and think like, oh, you know, would it have been better just to take that initial investment and put it into the racks? And now that I have some nicer racks, I automatically think, of course, right? But when I really think back in the position that I was in, for me, it was more important kind of acquiring some snakes to keep my drive going and get me interested and to figure out if I could do this or not, right? Like, is this something I would be sticking with? So I think starting out with some do-it-yourself stuff like melamine, or, you know, if you're lucky enough to have like a PVC distributor nearby where you can get sheets and do that, or buy like Sea Serpents, that's the way to go. And then, you know, eventually upgrade into the Freedom Breeder.
Yeah. I agree.
What size Freedom Breeders or ARS, sorry, I should say, are you using? Like the full 70 size for your adults, or did you go with the 40s that they have?
I have the 40s,
okay.
2 of those. The big tubs, I still have one melamine rack, and that's 10 high with those tubs in it. I have the ARS tubs in it, and soon, like in September, I'm ordering more, and I'm gonna order the a 70-30 for those sizes. I have some females that are getting up to that size.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, the medium size, the 50-40 fits. It's so versatile, right? Like, I mean, anywhere from like 600 grams to like 2,300 grams, 2,500 grams, you can put them in there, and you know, they breed, they eat, they shed, they lay eggs like perfectly in there. You know, they're okay with it. They like the tighter spaces. I have a lot of people on my Instagram like, oh, it's so tight. Like, I get it, but like, if a snake escaped, you find it in the tightest little spot, like under a tub. Like, you know, like, how did you get in there?
Right.
Like, they like it, you know. And termite mounds, they'd sit right, you know, on top and the bottom and the sides, and
Dude, I just had to move a female back down to her hatchling tub, dude, because she has not eaten in like a month and a half. I moved her down. She ate the night I moved her down, and she instantly went into shed. And I was like, "You gotta be kidding me!" You know, like
they like the tighter spaces. Sometimes it works.
Yeah, they love it. It's weird, man.
Yeah, I've noticed just the swapperoo sometimes kicks them in gear. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like, so I mainly have the larger, like my Freedom Breeder and my Vision racks for adults carry the V70 or the larger size tub, just because, you know, they didn't have the 40s back when I was getting them. so sometimes I'll have a female that maybe is a little too small to go in that one, but I feel she's too big for like the V35, which is like the Vision medium size tub, that's a little wider. But I'll just throw her back. Like if they go off feed, throw them back into a V35, try feeding them a couple days, and bam, they're right back on.
Yeah.
And, then you throw them back on the V70, and sometimes they'll just kind of kick on, what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
swapping them. That's cool.
Yeah, it's happened to me a few times this year. I did it to a few females where I'm like, okay, it's a bit small for you, but you're not eating in the large one.
Right.
Then
Right, yeah.
right before breeding season, like at the beginning, November, December, I switch them all back to the big tubs, and everything's good.
Everything's running great, yeah. Yeah, and that's too, like Adam was saying too. I have hatchling tubs and then 70s. Like I don't even have an in between. So I usually go from hatchling tubs straight to the 70s, and dude, I will say like 99% of the time they eat, but I offer hides to those smaller animals in the 70s, and I think that makes a big difference. Is just having that hide in there.
They get smaller.
Yeah. Then
smaller
they have the tight spot. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I guess switching gears really quick here, we always like to ask, is this your full-time job, or do you do something outside of this? And then kind of maybe how much time are you putting into the reptiles a week? Kind of a two-parter there for you.
So I don't do this full time. I wish, but not yet.
Right.
I have a couple of restaurants, sushi restaurant and a smoothie bar, Jugo Juice.
Okay.
They're at the I have 2 at the airport and 1 in a mall.
Okay.
So that's my main thing, and I've been doing this since 2010.
Right. Okay. Dude, a while.
It's been a while that I've been doing this, and then so I have the snakes, I have the paintings that I do. For a while, I was doing wedding photography as well. I did. Me and my brother have a social media and marketing company. So we'll create ad campaigns for people on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest. Now we have customers that we put their products on Amazon. We rank their products and we sell their products for Amazon.
Right.
So that's kind of like one of the other main businesses that we do. So the restaurants and the marketing campaigns, and now the snakes are getting more serious with time.
That's picking up.
More serious, I'm just waiting, take it to the next level. I'm waiting where my situation is that I can breed rats. That's a big issue for when you have a big collection.
Yep.
So having the quality and the quantity of rats that you need to feed them, right?
Dude,
so
crucial.
I'm not in a house that I can do it in now. So the next step, when I can do rats, then the collection will expand with that as well.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So about how much time do you think you spend on snakes now? Like a week, let's say.
So working in the snake room, probably because it's at home, so I probably do like an hour a day.
Right.
Right. Some days, like in the summer, like the spring cleanup, where we take the entire collection out and we deep clean the tubs outside with the hose and put everything back. That's longer hours, but generally speaking, about an hour a day in the snake room. But like 19 hours on my phone with snake stuff.
Dude, I'm so excited. Yeah.
Wait, if we count time browsing online for snakes, oh my God, this is like my full-time job. Like my daily job is my part-time then.
Dude, yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely, dude. I love that you said that because, dude, it's so true too. I mean, even with working on your Instagram account and doing all the social media stuff, that takes a lot of time, and then browsing Morph Market. Gosh, dude, if I could have all the time I've spent browsing Morph Market back, I'd probably have like a year of my life, Like I'd have probably a full year left.
It's crazy.
It is nuts, man. I spend a lot of time perusing that site and Instagram, looking at everybody's snakes on Instagram. Spend a lot of time on there too.
Yeah. So do your restaurant employees know you own snakes also, or do you keep that separate?
No, they know.
Do they?
Yeah, my employees are pretty supportive of my hobbies and all the stuff that me and my brother do. So yeah,
cool.
They know.
That's funny, man.
They like it, and I've had a lot of people start like them, and like they were all like, oh my God, snakes, and then now like just last week I sold a snake to somebody that I sold this to my brother's girlfriend.
Oh, really?
No way.
They used to not like snakes whatsoever, and then they started following us on our Instagram page, and they bought their first snake last week.
They dove
Alright,
in,
that's
man. Now
pretty
they're
cool.
hooked, dude.
Yeah, they're hooked. She was like talking to me about like, another one, and can she get two right now in the same enclosure? I'm like, no, wait on it for a second. No, like,
Right.
Yeah.
This is spreading the disease, dude. I like that. I like it.
I love it. I think social media is such a good, like Instagram, such a good platform to spread the information, the knowledge about them, and like real facts, not like, I watch some videos sometimes on Discovery Channel, and it's like top 72 deadly animals and stuff like that. They show you a snake chasing a guy down the street to eat him. Like, and that's just the kind of the stigma around snakes.
It is, dude. Yeah, it's a stigma.
Yeah.
There's a lot of misinformation out there. That's for sure.
Oh yeah,
Dude, a lot of misinformation.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, the first time like one of the constrictors made it on that list, I'm like, all you have to do is run.
Yeah,
the constrictor can't chase you.
Right.
Like,
Dude,
Exactly.
a big retic is not going to catch you.
Yeah, no, it's not. It doesn't care. So, okay,
Doesn't
cool.
care. Yeah.
yeah, you're all running away. Like this giant retic is just hauling ass behind you.
That's never happened. That is just that has never happened.
I do have a story. All right, I was living in the Philippines.
Here we
right?
go.
All right, story time. Okay.
Hey.
So living in the Philippines, and we're heading home, and they have these little things called trices, which is basically a little like 80 motorcycle with a side cart welded onto it, and 10 people pile on that sucker, and you just go downtown. So here we are going up this hill up to where we lived, and I'm on the side, and I see this old lady from inside start like whacking her umbrella out the little door of the trices. And so I'm like, what the heck? And I look behind me, and sure enough, there's a big reticulated python's head trying to get in our trice, because we were only going like 5 miles an hour up this hill because there were so many of us piled.
Right.
And so she's beating this thing out, and it just keeps trying to get back in, and I'm like looking at him like, I'm trying to kick it also. Like
what?
At one point, the driver throws us off.
Oh, what a bummer. We lost him right in the middle of that.
Yeah.
Right with the perfect, like the peak, dude, the peak of this story, dude, where they're about to crash this thing. Okay, got it.
Yeah. Oh, man. Needless to say, the old lady did a good job. She expanded her umbrella out the door, and it couldn't get in, and then it got bored and left us.
Right, dude,
It's
that's
like a large
crazy.
retic, or
What's that?
was this a large retic trying to get in, or I mean,
let's see. So this was over a decade ago. In my mind, at that point in time in my life, it was massive, right? The biggest.
That was a
snake I've ever
45-foot long retic.
In reality, it was probably like a corn snake size. No, I'm joking.
This was a snake that got dropped from a bird, and
wasn't even it was just a big stick. No, I'm joking.
were you into snakes at the time?
No, not really. I mean, like, I've always enjoyed like all types of wildlife, you know what I mean? And I've liked reptiles, but I wasn't into keeping them. I never really had like the vision that I do now for reptiles and everything.
Right.
So yeah, I didn't know, right? Like that and a cobra to me were the same thing. I thought both of them were going to kill me instantly. You know?
Right. Naturally.
I mean, that's another thing. Cobras, like people. I grew up thinking cobras, that's the ultimate venomous snake and all that stuff. And now the more and more I look into venomous, cobras are probably the most, I don't want to say tame, but they're most handleable of all the.
Dude, they're super smart, intelligent, and they're
for sure
seemingly great pets.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
Minus the venom part. Minus that part, dude. They look like great pets.
Yeah, they're fine. No, but they are a lot.
They
better
are.
than having a viper or a gaboon or
Yeah.
For sure.
I was recently watching and I don't know if this is accurate, but the coral snake is like the most venomous North American snake, but it rarely kills anybody because the venom
glands are so small that they rarely give you enough venom to be effective.
To kill you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's like an interesting thing too. Not
It's
that
the
I
most
would want to ever
potent
get bit.
per gram, I guess, but
Yeah.
you don't get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So weird.
Yeah,
You
that
know, there's a lot of weird things like that.
Yeah.
Um,
But snakes are great.
Snakes are great. I love them. Yeah. Dude, if I could have a king cobra, I would. Dude, that'd be so cool.
Yeah.
That'd
That'd
be
be
so
cool.
cool.
They're pretty cool. I watch a guy called Tyler Nolan on
Yeah, Tyler
YouTube.
Nolan. Yeah.
His stuff is so cool. He has a bunch of spitting cobras and gaboons and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
it's cool. And there's Chris Sweet. Chris Sweet free handles his cobras like
Yeah, like nobody's business.
baby. He's like, well, cute they are. And they're like,
Right.
you know, but
Nah.
I would, but they're cool.
Yeah. I'm not about that
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it is cool.
It is super cool. I want to work with them, right? I just don't know if I want them living here at the house right now. So.
Right.
Yeah, no, I'm okay with that. Like I have a couple of carpet pythons, and that's about as wild as I wanted to get when I'm feeding.
Right?
Yes.
You know?
That's
Good
fair
feeding
enough.
response out
Yeah.
of those ones.
Yeah.
They're wild. Some of them are great, but some of the carpets are freaking wild. They're a lot more alert than the ball pythons, you know, like.
Oh yeah, dude. Well, you know, I would say your average corn snake is more alert than a ball python in a lot of cases. But you know, there's that. Yeah, I have a few pretty alert ball pythons, but yeah, you know, for the most part.
Yeah.
But anyways, I wanted to introduce something new into the show that maybe we can get a little more consistent with, other than just randomly talk about it. But I think it would be cool, maybe to teach everybody what they already know, but talk about like, so do you feed like live or frozen?
Okay.
You were talking about you're doing live right now because you're talking about breeding your own rats.
Yeah.
Okay. And then for your breeding program, do you do any cooling? Do you cool your animals, or do you keep same temperature year round? Or, you know, what's your breeding program look like?
So 2 years ago, I started cooling the room at night a little bit. But I mean, not professionally. I would just walk into the room before I go to bed and bump it down 2 degrees or 3 degrees and go to bed.
Right.
And in the morning, get up, turn on the lights, bump it back up a couple of degrees and leave. And I had a really successful year. I had like, out of 30 pairings, I had like 26 females lay.
Wow.
No,
yeah.
I think I had like, of like 130 eggs, I had like 2 slugs.
Right.
So that was good. Last season, I got a little lazy. I did less pairings, like less actual introduction of males,
Uh-huh.
and I didn't change the temperatures. I didn't have a crazy. Out of 30 pairings, I hit 11 clutches.
Right. Okay.
So this year, what I did is I'm keeping the room temperature the same, but I'm actually adjusting all the hot spots on the racks, and I have a HerbStat, the thermostats.
Yeah.
And I just adjust it. So there's actually an option on there where you can cool down at night. So like 8 p.m. to 8 a.m., it'll cool down to
Right,
whatever
nighttime.
you want it to, and then in the morning it bumps back up to that.
So what
I'm
do you...
trying now to see how it goes. The feeding response is insane, but we'll see how it goes with the breeding and the clutches.
Right. And so what are you running those hot spots at, and then how many degrees are you dropping?
I drop them by 4 degrees. They're 93.5 during the day. That's on the actual HerbStat.
Yeah, and that's on the... Yeah.
Right, depending on the room that you're in and like...
Yeah, there's some variance between the transmission to the tub and through the tub.
Exactly, and on exactly the height of the tub and the rack and everything. So, generally speaking, it's 93.5 in the day and 88.5 during the night.
Right.
And that translates to 90 on the hotspot inside, 90 during the day to 86 during the night.
Right. Okay.
And a room temperature of 80 degrees all the time.
All the time.
Humidity of like 55, 60%.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
I've kind of automated everything instead of going in and pressing all the buttons and changing.
Dude, anything that can save you some time, man.
Yeah, I agree. And then the live, I feed live. I just find it's easier to defrost 200 rats I have to go buy them, which is annoying. But to defrost 200 rats, and I get lazy sometimes. Like, I know sometimes I've done it before where I've defrosted like 20 rats, and then I'm like, oh, it's midnight, and I don't want to feed right now. Like I'm just gonna go to bed, and the next day I just get up and I throw them out. I'm like,
right, and then you just burnt,
Yeah,
20
I've
rats.
done it a few times, so I'm like, yeah, everything eats live, just better feeding response. And
Dude, yep, absolutely, yeah, dude, yeah. That's I'm doing the frozen thawed thing myself, but I don't have, I only have like 40 snakes in there, so the difference in that is significant. But I will say, as I have started to expand, having the frozen thawed does take a lot longer. Between the defrost, the prep, getting each individual snake to strike and eat, whereas live you can just set your rodents, and then work your way back up the rack to see if anybody's not eating or whatever you're doing.
Exactly.
So that is fundamental. Time saving is nice.
yeah. What do you gotta heat up? Like I used to heat up the rats with a hair dryer, right? Like I'm like, so that's what you gotta do. Some way you gotta heat them up for this and get your face.
Yep. So.
And then the super aggressive 3,000 gram females. What are you doing for that? You just kind of like, hey.
So I defrost all the rats in a bucket, and then I have 2 buckets put in each other, a bunch of holes drilled in the one bucket. I drain them all out of that water. I go dump the water. I bring the bucket back in. I fill it with scalding hot water, put the rats back in that bucket, and then bring it in there, and then dry each one off, and then feed them, So it takes forever. But,
Yeah, I kind of do the same method for my because like when my rat guy has rats, everybody eats live, you know what I'm saying? But he's kind of inconsistent. So I end up like half of my feedings per month are on frozen thawed and the other half's on live type of thing. And for my frozen thawed, I do the same thing as Joel. I start with like 2 5-gallon buckets. One has holes in the bottom of it, the other one doesn't. I fill that up with cold water, dump my rats in, let everybody defrost for probably like 45 minutes or so, if that, 30, 45, and then drain that water, fill it back up with my water's not scalding because I'm afraid I'm going to cook them, and I don't want to cook them. So just like right below that, and I let everybody heat up for like 30 minutes. I dump that water, swap it again with hot water, bring that out to the room with me and start going. But I just pull right out of the bucket, slam it against the side a bunch till it's not dripping wet, and then in they go.
Right. Okay. See, maybe I need to do that because it's starting to get to be a pain to dry off all those rats.
I was drying them for a while, and just paper towel after paper towel, or then I was using like regular towel, and I was like, oh, this thing's disgusting. So I just said, forget it, right? Yeah. And I just started going, and I didn't notice any difference. Like the snake still came up to it, and went. And I almost think maybe the extra water on it's kind of helping hydrating. So.
There you go. Right. Now you don't even have to give them water. Right?
Yeah. No bowls.
Right. Yeah. No bowl, no nothing.
If it's too hot. Remind me with the whole towel. I got a flashback of the movie 101 Dalmatians when there's that one puppy left and he's trying to revive him with the towel. That's you guys with the rats.
Yeah, that's what we're doing with those rats. You were like, remember those rats down? Dude, yeah, and the towel, like I was using the same towel in there for like 3 months, and it's like stiff. It doesn't even move. It's just covered in like, dead rat. And I'm just like, gosh, this is so disgusting. So I'm not going to do it anymore. Adam has inspired me. If Adam can do it, I can do it. Okay?
Yeah. There you go. Adam can do it. Anyone can do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Adam's always right. Okay?
Yeah.
Is it? Okay.
Hey, did you tell Mrs. Beachbum that? A little louder, Joel.
Adam is always right, Heather.
Oh, Heather's right there, too. She's listening in on it. She's like, okay, yeah. Remember when Joel said that?
Yeah.
I like him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so what do you put them in freezers now? Like, do you guys have freezers at home for them, or you put them in your kitchen freezer? Or?
Yeah, I bought a freezer for it.
For them, okay.
Freezer.
Yeah, well, I have a coffin freezer that's primarily dedicated to the rats, but it also shares it with some other frozen food and stuff. That's
for you.
Yeah.
And Heather doesn't mind that or any.
No, not really. I mean, it's all like packaged food, so it's not like just food touching
chicken nuggets sitting with them.
defrosted, be like,
right.
chicken nugget or that was a Pinky Mouse. Oops. Sorry, kids.
I remember when at some point when I had the snakes, I had a lot less. I used to feed them frozen thaw. Then I had rats in my freezer, but I had just an apartment and just a fridge with the top part being a freezer, and I had a bit of rats in there. And then this new girl that I started seeing, one day she came over, she slept over, and then she's like, I'm like, I gotta go and get some stuff. And she's like, oh, can I just sleep in? And I was like, you come back later and we'll hang out. So I'm like, yeah, sure. So I left, and then back later, and she's sitting there like with her face like all weird and stuff. And I was like, what's the problem? She goes, you have rats in your freezer.
Why, yes, I do.
I was like, yeah, they're for the snakes. And she's like, you have snakes? Last time I ever saw her. But,
See, lesson learned. You should have just told her that was for the scrambled eggs later on and just hang tight, right?
Yes. You know how cheap you can get rats? Okay, they got a lot of protein on them if you get enough of them. All right? Fry those things up.
Scrambled eggs and sliced rats.
Yeah. It's just like bacon.
Yeah.
Sorry for anybody on the West Coast that may be eating dinner right now. We do apologize. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too good.
So, okay, we've kind of covered some bases here, but I feel like we've talked about your pairings this year, but we haven't talked about what would be your what's your most excited, man? What do you got under the hood there, or in the tub, I guess? What's cool?
Most exciting pairings?
Yeah.
What am I excited about? I mean, there's some simple stuff that I'm excited about that many people are like, but
that don't matter.
So a basic one that I'm excited about, I have the blackhead lav that's possible head pied, and I have them paired to an Enchi leopard pause head pied. But I've been pretty good at proving pause head pieds, and I'm pretty confident on both of them. So hopefully blackhead leopard Enchi pieds het lavender.
Yeah, wow, that would be a bummer.
Personal, you know what I mean, that it would work out to be cool.
Yeah, I can see how you would say, some of these pairings aren't that cool when you name that as your first pairing. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just like some of the stuff. I'm just some people think it's lame, but I think they're all right. They're pretty simple. Inchy, lavender, blackhead, pied. I
don't think they're simple. I just think that it's more like a personal type of project.
Right,
right. Another one that people are gonna be like, that's crazy. So I have a Orange Dream Fire Leopard Blade Clown to a vanilla spot nose het clown.
Awesome.
Dude. So that's like Orange Dream Cream Batman's.
Right.
And before that, whatever is before that, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Dream Batman's, Fire Batman's, and Orange Dream Cream Batman's, stuff like that. You know?
the tip of the pyramid, dude. Ooh, wow.
Yeah, it's a bit stacked. I know that if I hit everything, it's probably going to be like a I have a good feel.
It could be.
Huh? Well, because the cream,
yeah.
Look of the Batman, which is really kind of distinct and has a nice bold patterns to it. Then you have the cream, which kind of
eradicates some stuff. Yeah, but I do like creams, man.
I love creams. Cream clowns or the Disco Fire clowns.
Disco Fire clown, dude. That thing was sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's like one of my very exciting pairings that I'm looking forward to seeing.
That's going to be amazing, man, because the leopard vanilla creams look really good, right? So then having clown with that, I think that's going to be cool.
Yeah, dude, that's a legit group there that you're building there. I mean, even just hitting Orange Dream clowns, man, those are rad.
Yeah, I love it. Orange Dream. I hit one Orange Dream clown this year, a visual. And I have a couple of hets and double het clown pied Orange Dream.
Right.
So
it's sweet.
Yeah, I'm doing that same male to an Orange Dream double het clown pied.
Okay.
So super OD leopard fire clown 50% het pieds.
Het pieds. Yeah, and it's cool when you hit the clowns with ringers, man. Those are het pieds.
Yeah, you have that crazy.
Yeah. He's
fire.
a poshepide though.
The one Joel refuses to call hepide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll prove him out this year.
Yeah. He's breeding it. Or he's a good size.
Yeah, he's like 700 grams.
Yeah, he's good to go.
So he's locked up a couple times this year. So we'll see.
Okay, good.
Nice.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know, who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe he proves, maybe he doesn't. He better actually. I'll be pretty upset.
You know, it's fun though, like doing these boss head pairings.
Dude, I love it. I love it, dude.
Yeah.
I've proved out some cool pos sets as myself, dude. It's fun, dude. I like it. I like playing the cards a little bit, you know. But
yeah,
I don't know. Gambling's fun. So
agreed.
Gambling can
We have a
suck
phone
also.
number that you can call, Joel. It's okay.
Yeah.
Gambling 1-800
Anonymous.
Gambling Anonymous.
Joel, you're a gambler. I remember in Tinley you were saying you wanted to go to the casino.
Yeah. Dude, I played poker today, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I went to the casino this morning and played poker.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
This little breakfast and
Yeah.
boxes.
Yeah, it's been a good Wednesday, man. Worked out, you know, hung out, looked at some snakes. Now I'm ending it, chatting about snakes, played some poker. It's been a decent day, dude. It's been a decent day.
Right.
I agree with that. How was poker? Did you do good?
What's that?
Did you do good at poker?
Absolutely not. No, I did terrible. Yeah.
Like I lost everything tomorrow, back to work.
Yeah, dude. Like I'm not saying I'm good at gambling. I just say I like doing it.
Yeah, fair. That's fair. Yeah.
Hey, so Willis has asked a couple times thoughts on pastel blackheads.
I feel like this is like an inside question that is either baiting you in a direction or has already been talked about.
Oh, it's baiting him. I saw that eye shift to the right there.
So, just don't put those two genes together. There's gonna be so many people DMing me tomorrow about this. Like, I have it. Why don't I just don't look? Like we said earlier, there's some genes that just don't mix, and they're nice. Like pastel DGs are super nice. The new pastels that I made with the yellow belly and the Enchi and the hats, they're freaking cool.
Dude.
I've seen some combos with like the red stripe hurricane. I think it was like there's no hurricane, but
Red Stripe
something with red
Cypress.
stripe pastel. What is it?
Red Stripe Cypress Pastel.
Yeah, I've
looks
seen
really
a few of those, and they look nice.
Dude, they look
But
cool.
like straight pastel clown and straight pastel blackhead, no. But maybe a pastel blackhead DG will be able to clean up. Because the only thing that I don't like about pastel is that brownness that kind of comes into it, right?
Yeah, you can get
But
that.
that's
Yeah.
all.
If you can clean that up, which is DG, then I think you're onto something.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, pastel and lave is nice. Pastel and ultramel is nice because you don't see that brown coloration, right?
Right. It's already removed.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But Will likes to tease me with the pastel because he made a bunch of pastel blackheads, and we always have a back and forth about it.
Right.
He's like, blackhead was trash, and I made pastel blackheads, and now it's great again.
Making blackheads great again, dude. I like that.
Yeah.
I don't always mess with blackhead, but when I do, it's with pastel, right?
Yeah,
Most interesting man.
Exactly. So you're on the side of there is maybe no bad genes, just bad combos, I guess. Then with that,
Yeah, I think so. I think some genes are very limited.
right?
You know, there's a lot of like Orange Dream looks nice with almost everything.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen one that I'm like that's a bummer. Orange
Exactly.
Dreams in
You know,
that.
there isn't much as like, if anything, it's not the Orange Dream that's doing the bad influence, you know?
Right.
So another gene, for example, like Champagne. Champagne, it's nice. It looks nice. It looks wicked. But I think it was, well, first of all, it was left untouched for a long time until the Leopard and the Enchi came in and started bringing out patterns. But I still think it's sort of limited with a lot of different genes because there's going to be so many genes put into it at one point and it's just going to look like a Champagne, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
But no, I think everything has its place.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah, I like that a lot. Well, we have hit that hour mark, so we try to be conscious of everybody's time, even though we are fairly selfish. I was thinking we could, if you don't have anything left, Adam, we could
fire out these lightning round questions and then maybe open it up to chat?
Let's do it. Fire round.
Okay, yeah. So new season, new fire rounds. So Khalil has never heard these before, and he may think he has, but he hasn't. And no. All right. So we're gonna fire off these lightning rounds. You know how these work, and the start.
Oh, and thank you for everybody for your suggestions.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thank you all for that. We picked a winner out of it, believe it or not, which is surprising that you guys came together and gave us something great. No.
And what do they win, Joel? What do they win?
They won a free hug from Adam.
Yeah.
If Adam would ever go to a reptile show again. So,
who's the winner?
Yeah.
Anybody hear that bus come by?
Yeah. Will is our winner. Willis.
Well, I was gonna say I'll send a free shirt to the winner, but now it looks like it's staged, so he's not getting.
Yeah, dude, that's sketchy. You don't want him representing your company anyway. Okay, here we go. Lightning round. What was your spirit animal?
What is my spirit animal? Oh God. I want to say a lion.
Lion, dude. Okay, real bold with that. Okay, I like that. Yeah, just with swinging, right?
I mean, I don't know if it's my spirit animal necessarily, but it's maybe a spirit animal that I would like to be. I watch a lot of Discovery Channel, and I'm very intrigued with the way a lion
operates.
Yeah, operates and.
Yeah. Okay, dude, I like that. All right, fair enough.
Strong.
Pet peeve. What's something that annoys you the most?
Oh, so many things.
Oh my God.
No. There's one. Okay, so for my restaurants, I go to Costco quite often.
Okay.
Like 3 times a week.
Yeah.
And one of my pet peeves, like it drives me nuts, is people wait till to get to the check-in line, like to not the check-in line, but you know the person that checks your card.
Yeah.
They get to that point, and then they start looking through their purse to look for the card.
Right.
It's like, did you not know you were coming to Costco for the past hour that you've been driving here?
Yeah.
Lately, that's been like because I'm there so often, so I'm like, just go, and I'm always like going around them, and then it's like,
right.
Yeah.
It's like you have to show it to get in. How did you lose it between walking in the door and getting in line?
Like I park, I pull it out of my wallet, and I just like, if it's cold, I put it in my pocket, and I walk in, show it, and I walk in. Them, no, they start looking for, or people that get to the cash and then start looking for their money. It's like, you've been waiting, you know.
What just happened?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's been suggested that maybe the thing that annoys you most is a pastel with blackhead, but you know, that's for another time, I guess.
That's probably on my the second on that list.
Okay, so 3 words to describe yourself as a teenager.
Say it.
3 words. Is there kids on this show?
Dude, we are not kid friendly anymore.
But,
we're not monetized.
But ugly. Yeah, I was a good looking kid, and then like my teenage years were just awful. You know? And yeah, I mean some would say that they're still awful, but I think if there was a few years that were.
No, MJ said this dude's good looking, so you already got one fan in chat. So don't worry about that.
MJ's a man. Yeah. His wedding is this week, next week.
It's like nowish. Yeah.
Mexico.
I think he's at the airport right now, flying out that way.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so. Cartoon character. What would be your cartoon character if you were one?
Shit. Cartoon character. I mean, who would I? You know what? I like Speedy Gonzalez.
Speedy Gonzalez. Okay. All right.
Can you do an impersonation? Arriba.
No, I'll probably get some like racist comments tomorrow. Like, that's not. Yeah, that was fun though. I used to play it on I think Nintendo, Super Nintendo.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, heck yeah.
And I used to, because I'm originally from Texas.
Okay.
And I used to be very fat. And then, so I'm short, fat, really tan all the time. So everybody thought I was Mexican all the time. So I guess I can relate to this guy.
Right. Speedy Gonzalez, dude, he's your guy.
Right.
He's also my spirit animal too. I guess we can link all three together.
There you go.
Okay, so last official is if you could travel back in time, what time would it be?
Oh man. Probably like, I think 30s and 70s.
30s and 70s.
Yeah. If I had to choose. Can I choose two?
Sure,
Well, I feel like if you played that right, you could probably live in both, right?
Go back to the 30s and live all the way to the 70s.
He wants to be 21 in 1930 and then 21 in 1970.
Yeah, okay.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I like the 1930s, just all the innovation that was going on, the car development, the automotive world, all the new factories, everything that was kind of being innovated, developed, invented at that time.
Right.
It's amazing. I watched a show called American Pickers. I don't know if you guys watched that.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm so amazed when they walk into a place and they start teaching the history of things from the 30s and the 40s and how things came about. I'm super interested by that. And then the 70s, 80s, I'm into like the retro look, the old Pepsi machines and old Coca-Cola machines and the signage and that kind of stuff. So I'm really into those kind of, categories. And 50s had a lot of 50s, 60s, if it's for like cars, like the Corvettes, like the 57, the 63s and stuff like that.
Yeah. I like that, dude. All right, that's a respectable answer. I'll give that to you. That's your only one, but the most official lightning round question we have ever had to date is: are you a button fly or a zipper kind of guy?
I'm a button fly.
Yeah, right. He's lying. He didn't even know what it was.
There it is.
You had to ask.
There it is.
Do I stand up?
We're 1 for 1.
Prove
We're killing it. We're batting 100% right now.
Oh my God,
it is, dude.
All right.
Hashtag
Khalil, did
prove
you go
it.
buy
All right,
some
you
just for
nailed
the show?
Yeah, I think I once went commando with zipper, and I hurt myself, and ever since then it's
dude. Yeah, buttons are a simpler time and a safer measure. Okay.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I'm not into zippers. No.
Yeah, takes you back. Takes you back to the 30s wearing that button fly. I like that.
Yeah. Right. Franks and beans.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, you can see like zipper shirts, zipper
shirts,
like
zipper shirts.
Oh yeah, you have one on, so that's true.
Yeah.
He's all about those zippers, man. He's sketchy. Yeah, I don't know.
Zippers everywhere. Zippers everywhere.
Yeah, he has zippers on his pockets, man. Like he has zippers everywhere.
My other sweatshirt does.
All right. Well, that concludes all of our shenanigans. Now, I would take this time to open up to chat. I know we had a couple questions there stacked up. Adam, did you see anything right off the bat? I know
Well, we have the infamous sleeper gene question that we've got to ask.
Reggie had a good question too.
He did. Reggie had a good one too.
Yeah, I think we spoke about it, but I think the Sentinel gene is a sleeper gene.
Yeah.
There's not much going on with it right now. Not a lot of people sleeping on it, but it's gonna come out with a bang, especially with the new stuff that's coming out with it. It's gonna be. I think it's the next sleeper gene.
Yeah. Hopefully you can show us that, man. I'm excited for that.
For sure.
Yeah.
That'll
be
good. I have
good.
some this year.
Reggie's Urban Jungle asks if you're working on any triple recessive projects.
Yes, I'm working on the G-Stripe DG clown stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's taking a bit longer because I'm not trying to make just that combo. I'm adding 3 or 4 codon genes to it.
Right.
The DG clown pied as well.
Right.
The Sentinel DG clown.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So just kind of slapping that DG almost in everything.
which makes, as you should kind of thing. And innovating that project, right?
Yeah, DG is a great gene. I think because you can add color you can take 2 pattern mutations and just give it that nice color to it. Because I think 3 pattern mutations become a little,
right,
faded.
Yeah.
So adding a nice color to 2, like the clown pied, for example, you can't like clown pied and then G stripe and then G stripe with the pied might be too bland. So adding just a color to it, I think will be a good step.
Yep, absolutely, dude. Yeah, and pastel to that DG.
Yeah. I don't mind the pastel.
No, I love pastel and DG.
No, those two are made for each other. Like pastel and DG work really, really well.
They do. Dude. Pastel and puzzle works really well together as well.
Yeah,
that is true. Yeah, I really like it brings out the nice oranges for sure. Yeah, well, this was fun, man.
So I heard you're a fiend for chicken. Do you miss Chicken Express? Jared Smith wants to know.
Jared, yeah, like I said, I'm from Texas originally, and I used to go to, like last time I was there for a week. I went to Chicken Express 11 times.
Dude, I don't even know what Chicken Express is.
It's only in Texas. They make the best chicken tenders, and then they have these corn nuggets and their coleslaw. It's just perfection. And then you have to try it. When we got to go to an Arlington show, we all got to go out to a chickeny, and it's an experience.
Yeah.
Man.
Okay. Dude, when you going to Arlington?
I don't think I'm gonna go this next one. I'm gonna be in the March Tinley.
Right.
And then maybe because I usually go hunting in Arlington. Well, I go to Arlington. I stay there. I usually go hunting in September.
Okay.
So
you do the September show.
I don't know, depending on how far off the September show is.
Right. Okay.
Like I go the first week, so if it's like 3 weeks later, I'm not staying. I usually stay for like 10 days.
Okay. Got it.
What are you hunting down there? Hog?
No, morning dove.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's fine. I've done like animals. Well, animals. I've never done like deer or hog, stuff like that. Usually just quail and quail, pheasant, duck,
fowl,
dove.
Right.
Right on.
So we had what is your by Third Coast Ball Python thoughts on the lavender Holy Grail? I guess the lavender clown pied is the Holy Grail?
Lavender clown pied, the Holy Grail.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks nice, but personally, when I look at it, I can't tell there's clown in it.
Right.
I know probably side by side with just a lavender pied, you'll be able to see it, but I don't find that the clown adds that much to it.
Yeah.
Lavender
just a dreamsicle.
To me, but I mean, I never produced a dreamsicle, so I don't really know that much, what to look for.
Right.
But I do think that lavender is one of those genes that looks good only in lavender.
Okay. Yeah.
Like lavender clown, lavender pied, or whatever it is. I just find that there's so many cool combos to make with the lavender gene itself. Just like the Enchi leopard lavender, or like, the blackhead lavender, the black pastel lavender, blackhead black pastel lav that Justin made. All those different genes in the lavender alone, I find them nice. But to make them, like I have that project, but most of my pairings are not really making the visual. They're making visual het for the other, and I probably won't even try for the other one.
Right.
So yeah, that's my opinion on it. It's a nice snake and powerful as all heck.
Oh,
but
yeah, dude, absolutely.
That's,
Yeah, 3 heavy genes in one animal is pretty serious.
Yeah.
I think Mariah, if I'm saying this right, Mariah Taylor asked favorite species of reptile.
Favorite species of reptiles? I mean, ball pythons.
Yep.
Snakes. I like them a lot, and I do like lizards quite a bit. Geckos.
Yeah. Okay.
They're pretty cool. I'd like to have a nice gecko setup and.
Yeah. What type of gecko? Like the leopards or
lychees?
No, I like. Yeah, like stuff like that. There's I think it's like super green. I think it's the day gecko.
Yeah.
The day gecko. Yeah.
Stuff like that. There's a blue variation of it. Like that kind of stuff is super, super cool.
Yeah.
And then, so yeah, geckos. Lizards, I mean, I like the monitors, but it's not really my thing. They're cool, but it's not really something that I would,
You're going to try and keep. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, those things, man. I mean, you need like a freaking house, like dedicated to them. You know what I mean? They're huge.
Yeah,
like
serious space.
Yeah, some serious space and time and everything too. So, I mean, I love the monitors too. I think they're about the closest that we can get to owning like a T-Rex. Like, you know what I mean? They're like modern day T-Rexes basically. But man, the time and the space makes it, for me right now, something I'm not going to go after either. But eventually, it's on the bucket list for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's something about, so ball pythons, if one ever bites me, I understand what the bite is, right? Whether it's like a reflex bite or a food-driven bite, whatever.
Right.
I understand what it is. I've been bit by both. But there's something about having a monitor lizard that can just like cut off my finger if it decides to bite me for a reason. Whether it's, that's not on purpose. Maybe it, it
there's an error made, right?
And I don't want that, you know what I mean? Same thing for venomous. I don't want, venomous biting me. That's kind of the reason why I wouldn't get into something that size.
Right.
I got you. Yeah, for sure.
We had maybe our last question from Willis, Royal Canadian Reptiles. Most impressive combo you saw in 2019?
The chocolate version of the Pompeii.
Okay.
Yeah.
Blew me away. Like, I think it's just so, I love the clean lines, the contrast, the eyes. Like that animal was one of probably the best ball python I've ever seen.
Wow, that's pretty cool. That's quite a bit right there. Yeah, that's placing a high high tag. Yeah,
high trophy for that.
Yeah, that's cool. I liked it too. I thought it was. I think chocolate's one of those genes. The more we see it get thrown into some multi-combo stuff, we're seeing some of the potential of it pop out. Like on its own, it's not very impressive, right? Like it looks okay, but it's not like nothing to write home about.
Gene chocolate is.
Yeah, right. But then once it starts touching some other genes and combos, I like what it adds to the table when it's mixing. Yeah.
Dude, super chocolate clowns are gonna be cool.
I think so.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree 100% on that. I have a chocolate head hypo clown, and I have a super chocolate head hypo. I'm gonna post the pictures tomorrow. Just one almost looks like nothing. Well, it looks like something, but it looks almost like
right.
And then the super chocolate is like
night and day.
It's insane, night and day. It doesn't even look like it's the same super of a certain gene.
That's because it's a het. It's a het chocolate. That's why.
Yeah, it's true. So the het chocolate, het super chocolate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
Third Coast just said they're working on chocolate banana desert ghost.
Dude,
I love the chocolate desert ghost project. I think it's really cool.
Yeah,
I wish
cool.
Yeah, I wish I would have bought this super chocolate hypo desert ghost last year.
Oh my gosh, yeah, from Fireball, dude. I looked at that snake, I don't know, 4,000 times.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Ozzy picked up a female, and then someone picked up the male. Ozzy picked up the female with the pastel.
Yeah, with the pastel.
Yeah, pastel super chocolate hypo DG.
Insane.
Yeah.
And it was, he was like, it was only like 3,500.
It was super reasonable for like what you were getting. 100%. Yeah. I can't remember if Miguel picked up the male to that.
Maybe.
I think Miguel has it. Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Desert Ghost. Desert Ghost. Will's
Willis is just doing that to confuse people.
Yeah.
Desert Ghost.
Worked.
Oh, okay, so that gene that doesn't work with a Desert Ghost and the ghost. Okay.
Yeah, the pet only gene.
Yeah.
Well, males are cool.
Males are cool.
The females are broken.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a shame. That's a nice gene.
Yeah.
Desert. Man, when Desert hit the market, I was so excited because you had an incomplete dominant version of Desert Ghost, right? I mean, it just cleaned up anything it touched and provided nice contrast, which is exactly what I like in an animal, like, when you're going to be adding it to stuff. And then when we all found out the females were no good, that was a big letdown, man. That was a big letdown.
Yeah.
So goes it sometimes.
So goes it, man. Yeah.
Yeah, and respect to the people that put the money out and the time to figure that out, right? Without them, like, shoot, we wouldn't know,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I guess we're hitting at that hour and a half mark and getting late, I'm sure, for everybody involved. Phoenix is yelling.
Phoenix wants dinner.
Yeah, he's ready, man. He's like, what is going on right now? But I just want to thank you so much, man, for coming on the show. We really appreciate it. I feel like it was a really good show. I think we had a ton of people watching, which is always good to see. Chat, you guys have been awesome as usual. Thank you all so much for tuning in. There's a lot of places you guys can go waste your time at, and we're happy you come and waste it here with us. So very, very grateful for that.
So you guys have somebody up for next week already, or
yeah, it's just Adam and I next week.
Yeah, next week just Joel and I, and then we'll announce our next one and all that good stuff.
Yep. So. We have an exciting guest for that too, so be prepared.
Sweet.
Joel's lying. We have nobody yet. No,
I'm going to interview Adam.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, but check down below. All of Khalil's information is in the description, and by that I mean his, I believe, non-existent YouTube channel and his. I didn't link a Facebook because I don't believe in Facebook, and his Instagram. So you can click the link to his Instagram if you'd like. It's in the
and that'll work.
Check it out. But I will be starting some YouTube content.
Okay.
I'm just a little bit of a shy guy on camera, like, hey guys, but I will figure something out. I will show some videos about different genes, what I'm working on, and it's coming. I already have this set up. I already filmed a little bit about the blackhead stuff. I'm just gonna put the video together.
We'll believe it when we see it. How about that? Okay.
I agree with you.
So yeah, everybody go follow Khalil 514 Reptiles on Instagram. Spam his instant message. Get him to start a YouTube channel.
And
Let's
then
do it.
As soon as he does, we can re-edit this description and link his YouTube channel in it.
But I do have a YouTube channel, just no videos on it.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, technically, I guess you're right. You do have the channel. Yeah, I didn't even think of that.
2 subscribers.
Dude, okay, yeah. Well, you know what? Still, okay. So when he posts a video to said channel, then we'll change the description. Y'all can go and check it out. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you again, Khalil. Really appreciate it. And
thank you, guys.
Until next week, we'll see y'all later.
Until next week, guys.
Bye,
See
guys.
ya.